guys, my name is Tina and welcome to my Draw My English class, in case you didn't see from the title earlier. Today I'll be sharing my semester in books as well as some life lessons that I learned along the way, so I hope you enjoy. So this is me. This is me way back in February when I had only read 3 out of 7 Harry Potter books. And this is me now, in June, having read, wait for it, 3 out of 7 Harry Potter books. But I've made like 40 pages of progress, thank you very much, so I'm basically a pro reader now. I wanted to start by saying that coming into this course, I thought I was the best writer ever. I was like, guys, I'm going to pass this course with flying colors. And I was so confident because J.K. Rowling who? My middle name is J.K. Rowling, J.K. But yeah, then I saw my marks. And then I thought, that's not right. That's not flying colors. So this year I spent a lot of time looking through my past work and looking at ways of how I could refine and make my writing better. Okay, so the first book we read this year was The Epic of Gilgamesh back in February. Do you guys remember that lady that tried to hold Gilgamesh back from his journeys? Her name was Siduri, and she was all like, "Don't go, I'll have your babies and give you food." Gilgamesh objects, and his response kind of resonated with me because he helped me realize that sometimes people are not looking for our help, and we should be respectful of that. Siduri pretended to know what Gilgamesh needed, and he felt constrained because he wasn't asking for assistance. Similarly, I realized that when I speak with friends, I sometimes find myself wanting to give them unsolicited advice and opinions. And over time, I've found that this often makes them discouraged from sharing more of their problems. So I try to refrain from doing that now, and I've found that people share a lot more when I allow them to express themselves completely. So in March, we read You the Great. And there are so many different puns I could make with this title, but I'll leave them up to you. My mom walked in as I was writing the book log for this comic, and she was really excited that I was learning about Chinese legends in English class. So she sat down and told me the story in Chinese, and I was really interested by the different emphasis on elements of the story as told through a graphic novel medium compared to verbal speech. Even though it was the same story, the experience of hearing the story in the language that it was written in was vastly different from reading it in an English comic. I learned that the way we speak and communicate is equally important, if not more, to the content of what we want to express. As you already know from my Harry Potter progress, I am the slowest reader ever. Okay, so my mom and I went to Kingston to visit my sister at Queen's University over March break, and I was reading for almost all of the 3-hour drive. So I was trying to recount what happened in the story to my mom, but the more I talked, the less I knew what I was trying to say. It was kind of like that meme where you start a funny story, but it isn't actually funny, and you have to keep going. So yeah, for me, this was a lesson in clarity in speech. Sometimes I ramble a lot, and I don't really know what I'm trying to say, so this confuses both me and my audience. My sister really drove this point home when she listened as I tried to recount the story again to my mom and explained that what I had been trying to say for 3 minutes and 10 seconds. For the future, I'm working on cutting my work down and saying only things that are necessary. And on to the Odyssey. Okay, the first lesson I learned is that adjectives make your writing sound smarter, and they also fill up the word count, so it's like a win-win, like your boy Homer. Okay, in all seriousness, the creative writing piece we did for chapter 9 of this book was probably my favorite assignment from this year. So from this assignment, I got to edit the work of several students and see the different writing styles that we had in our class. And I think this really helped improve my writing because I read many strong examples of creative writing with the same plot. Editing is a lot different from reading because you have to constantly think about ways a sentence can be changed so that an idea is more clearly expressed. Using a thesaurus and reading aloud made the task easier, but I was surprised at how many changes could be made to a piece of writing that was considered finalized, improved. Often reading feels passive to me because I'm too busy focusing on what's happening to the characters or getting to the next line or page. And as a result, I don't really fully try to understand the author's intention and reasoning behind each individual sentence or word. My next book is Twelfth Night by Shakespeare. Okay, William Shakespeare's plays take so long to read. Can we please just acknowledge the fact that this man has an insane vocabulary. Like, this guy is intense. May was a really busy month for me because I spent more time being involved in extracurriculars such as the Reckoner, sports teams, music nights, and several more. These events took a lot of time away from school, and I found myself missing more classes than I had planned to, so I had to catch up on weekends and make use of my commutes to school. A particularly unfortunate casualty was a weekend I spent reading Shakespeare, as my parents happily enjoyed the first days of warm weather in the backyard. From this, I learned that missing classes comes with a price. And next year, I'm going to commit myself to fewer activities outside of school in order to reduce the number of classes I miss and focus on my studies. And finally, my last book was Eleanor and Park. So I really enjoyed reading this book for a number of reasons. Eleanor and Park reminded me a lot about the picture book from my original timeline, Noni Says No. I think this book reinforced my earlier conclusions that I'm a people pleaser. I feel like I desperately want people to like me, and often at the expense of doing things that I genuinely enjoy. Park embodies this without really being aware of it, but he clearly portrays this as he is always anxious about how others will think of him and Eleanor being together. And Eleanor is kind of like his wake-up call. When he says he doesn't want people to embarrass her, Eleanor responds with something like, "Embarrassing me or embarrassing you?" And when I read this, I felt really guilty because I was reminded of when I was introducing some of my friends from school to a family friend, and I felt really embarrassed because I thought they would think he was weird. So I had this urge to apologize for his behavior and assure them that I also thought he was weird. But I now know how wrong that is because it's not my place to apologize for my friends. So, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and comment down below if you would like to see more content from your fave big YouTuber. And of course, hit that big red subscribe button right here for notifications because I make new videos every year, so you really don't want to miss out. And thanks so much for watching.